Welcome to Dives with Ruby. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the money lessons and some of the life lessons that I've learned in my 20s so far. I put together this video with all the information that I would have found so helpful if I was going into my 20s or was already in my early 20s. Now, that ship has long sailed for me, but I wanted to put this video together so that hopefully this information will help someone else out. All right, lesson number 1. Create a specific financial goal that's going to allow you to afford the lifestyle that you want. Now, for example, when I was going into my 20s and in my early 20s, I was just like, I want to be making enough money a year that I don't have to really worry about my finances. Okay, that's great. Now, what does that really mean? I didn't know if that meant like I have to be making $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year. I just didn't have a specific financial goal. And so that's something I wish I had, figured out sooner and learned sooner. And so that's my advice to you. Really think of it as a thought experiment. Make a list of your ideal lifestyle and the expenses you would have in your ideal lifestyle. And think of it through like a month's perspective. So go ahead, take out a notepad. And in a month in your ideal lifestyle, are you renting? Are you owning a home? If you're owning a home, what kind of home do you own? Are you living in a really high cost of living area? Or are you living in a suburban town? Mortgages are going to vary significantly depending on where you live, right? Actually look up your dream home in Zillow, find the mortgage estimate, and put it down as a monthly expense. Are you driving a fancy car? Are you driving a secondhand car? Maybe you're living in a city that is super walkable and you don't even need a car. Put that as an expense. Put in shopping, entertainment as an expense. Are you really into designer items? Have you always wanted to afford designer items? That's fine. Put that in as expense. You could care less about shopping. Do you care about traveling? Do you want to be able to afford a international vacation every year? Or do you just want to be able to take weekend road trips? Think about also work-life balance. What kind of job is going to give you the income that you desire and also give you the lifestyle that you desire. Once you kind of actually go through this exercise and figure out, hey, to have the lifestyle that I truly desire, I need to make $10,000 a month. That's great. You multiply that by 12, that's going to be $120,000 after taxes, right? So maybe you need to be making anywhere from $150,000 to $160,000 a year. That's great. Now you have a number to go after. Now you actually have a specific financial goal. One thing I think also is the life lesson part of this is be super mindful that when you're thinking about the lifestyle that you want, it is the lifestyle that you want. It's not the lifestyle that your peers want, that TikTok is telling you to have, that your family is telling you to have, that society is telling you to have. Really think about what is it that you want. And the answers to these questions are not necessarily going to come to you overnight. It does take some soul searching, but it's so worth it because then you're going to be investing all your energy into a goal that you actually want. And you're not just kind of like, oh, I think I should do this, or I need to be making this much money because my friend says that it's important to be making X amount of money a year. No, right? Think about the financial goal that's going to allow you to afford the lifestyle that you want. The second lesson is creating systems of success in your life. So if we look at this with our finances, a great way to create a system of success is making things more automatic, making things convenient for yourself. So when your paycheck hits your bank account, set it up so that 20% of your paycheck is already put into a savings account that you don't touch. Right? You're never going to see this money. It's going to be automatically distributed as soon as it hits your bank account. So you're not going to miss it. But guess what? Over time, you're going to build up a significant rainy day fund, an emergency fund in a different savings account. You can even set it up so that 10% goes into a savings account. Another 10% goes into an investing account. That's even better. So while you go and enjoy your life, 10% of your money is already at work. It's invested. It's trying to generate you more money. And so often we know already what's good for us, right? We know the things that are important that we should prioritize, but sometimes they seem intimidating or they seem tedious or we get bogged down by life, right? We have to put out the fires. So these are the tasks that are important, but not necessarily urgent. But if you create a system of success in your life, you can actually handle the important but not urgent things, such as managing your finances well. You don't want to wait for when, you need to replace your tires and you have no money saved up to start being like, oh my God, I should have managed my finances better. Create the system of success early on so that the system can generate success for you and you can still live your life. Creating a system of success is actually not new life advice. It's something we've all heard before. It can be something as simple as laying out your gym clothes before you go to bed. So that when you wake up in the morning and you know you're trying to go to the gym, you're trying to develop that habit, you don't have the one more step, the one more decision to make in the morning of, what do I wear now? Oh, I don't even have my favorite leggings. Well, if I don't have my favorite leggings, I already didn't want to go to the gym, so I'm just not going to go now. Set up a system of success that will help you reach your goals without putting so much friction in your life, right? So if you take the time to actually do some of the work to initially set up a system, it's going to generate so much more success in your life. It's going to remove a lot of the friction, the tediousness that comes with maybe developing habits that we know are good for us and important for us, but can be hard to implement. My third piece of advice is do not be intimidated or do not think less of yourself because there's knowledge you don't have yet. When I was in my early 20s especially, I remember feeling really lost and insecure because I was like, how come I don't know so many of these adult things? And the reality of the situation is your 20s, especially your early 20s, you feel like you're grown. You're an adult now, right? You can take over the world and that's great. But you also realize oh my God, there's so much stuff I don't know how to do. I don't know how to adult. And that's how it's supposed to be. Your 20s are really you're a baby adult. You're learning how to be an adult. You're on the training wheels, right? And so this is your training. For me personally, I used to be really hard on myself about the fact that there's so much finance knowledge I don't have yet. And I wanted to learn, but I would berate myself of hey, I got my undergrad degree in business. I've always been interested in finance. I've worked in corporate finance. I've, invested some things, but there's still so much information I don't know of, and that's totally fine. I should have spent that time, besides berating myself, investing that time in learning, right? In speaking to people, in interacting with people that had the information that I wanted, in taking courses and reading books, listening to podcasts, learning how to invest, learning about the different investments. And of course, eventually I got there and I'm learning and I'm still continue to learn. But I just wish I had spent that time being proud of myself, hey, at least I'm putting the efforts to learn, as opposed to being how come I don't know this already? So that's my third piece of advice. Don't be hard on yourself about the information you don't know. Your 20s are about learning. And my fourth piece of advice is start today. Whatever it is that you really want, whether it's a hobby you're trying to take on, whether it's a habit you're trying to develop, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, start now. You stressing about the fact that time has already passed you or that something is going to take so long when you really want it is not going to make the time go by any faster, or it's not going to return the time you've lost. So for example, when I was probably 22 is when I opened my investment account. And at that time, I clearly remember being oh my God, I'm already 22. I've already wasted a couple years that I could have been investing. And now I'm just going to be behind the curve. Now, any finance advice you will hear about investing is the earlier you start, the better, right? Especially with investing. And that is very true, right? So with investing, you really want time to be on your side so that compound interest is working more in your favor. And I remember being I've already wasted so much time. Well, guess what? Time has already passed. And it wasn't I was wasting time. I was studying. I was trying to make some money so that I could actually invest it. So start today. Don't worry about the time that has passed you. There's this very famous saying, right? It says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And this goes with any healthy habits that you were trying to incorporate in your life. Yes, you could have started years ago. Yes, this is something you could have done since you were a child. If you did it, That's totally fine. Maybe you're just learning about it. Maybe this is something that you're trying to develop. Give yourself props for that and start the habit, the routine, whatever it is today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't worry if it's going to take you like 5-10 years to master it. That time is going to pass anyways. You're either going to learn that new skill if you start today, or you're just going to regret it 10 years down the road, like, oh, I should have started 10 years ago. All right. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this was more of a personal video. This is all the advice and lessons I wish I had known going into my 20s, but I'm very glad that, I've learned them along the way, and I just wanted to share this information so that hopefully it'll be helpful to someone out there. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe down below, and leave me a comment on what else you would like to see on this channel. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.